This is Ryan Abraham, Dan Weber, USCFootball.com. Instant analysis, day one of spring football here on chilly Howard Jones Field. It's actually a little shorter of Howard Jones Field, if you can see with the construction over there. There's no Heritage Hall anymore, and I think we lost the end zone over here, Dan.
I think we lost 25 yards exactly.
Wow.
It goes 30 yards each way. The 40-yard line is not marked. Both end zones are the correct. So they've got about 95 yards. They're going to get the 25 yards back in July,
Okay.
When they have the swim complex finished. But it's now one end zone, and the goal line is a construction zone. Field looks great, though. I mean, you don't need the 100 yards. No. Practicing only twice a week on this, so they won't probably, damage the turf that much. So it'd be hard to do this in the fall.
Right.
I think you'd probably put too much pressure on the turf.
Well, one thing I noticed, too, you don't need as big of a field, but you don't have as many players. And I think there's only about 63 scholarship guys. Lane Kiffin was actually very open and honest about injuries and reporting. It seemed like a kind of different thing out here, but there's not as many bodies as we're used to seeing out here.
No, but there's some talent. I mean, there really is some talent. You talk to the different coaches, and, they've got to figure out how do we do what these guys want us to do. But I thought Mike Summers was saying, they're really willing. They really want to, I thought it was as fast-paced as we've seen in practice here. Now, as Lane says, it's great. No pads. It's cool. It's middle of the week. Nobody's hitting you exactly. So he said, I know it was interesting. Lane said the key. He said we always start like this. The key is maintaining it. We didn't maintain it last year. We weren't able to practice at this pace and at this tempo. I thought that was a really honest, direct answer.
There's a few guys that aren't here and no longer with the program. Lane Kiffin actually gave an update on that. Maybe you can share what he said.
Well, you've got Devontae Wilson and Christian Hayward, who basically left after the first semester and just didn't come back. I think, from the words we got, they couldn't find Christian Hayward for weeks. I mean, he just kind of took off. He's back home in San Diego, but this wasn't the place for him. And Christian Thomas, there was some hope after his last surgery that maybe it wasn't as severe and maybe he had a chance to come back. Now it looks like the determination is that hip cartilage, he had the worst one, I guess, of all the ones they've had. Hasn't come around. He's still in a motorized wheelchair, and they're pretty sure now he is going to get a medical hardship waiver for the rest of his career. He'll be on scholarship, but he won't be able to play football.
I didn't want to bury the lead here, but the first question was definitely about Lane Kiffin calling the plays. Is Lane Kiffin going to call the plays?
He didn't. He did not today. As we were talking to Max Brown, he said Clay was calling him, and he said that's good. I like Clay. Clay and I get along real well. He said, I don't know what we had a script and we did it, but he said Clay was calling him. Then Lane said they're not thinking about what's going to happen in the fall, who's going to call plays. That they're trying to get the guys in the right place and hoping, that they can get a Jabari Ruffin to be able to play that drop defensive end, which he made the best play of the day on defense. And he stole the Player of the Day award, was going to go to Cody Kessler, who had a great day, according to, Lane felt like he said, but Jabari made a great play on a kind of a deep out. It didn't look like he had a chance to get to it. He got to it, so he said, we can't give it to Cody after an interception, but Cody was on track to be the player of the day for all the plays he made. So that's kind of some news too, probably.
Yeah, and then also Max Turek, starting left tackle from last year, playing center.
Well, it worked for Alabama. Barrett Jones kind of made that thing work. So it looks like he will. It sure looks like he's going to be the center. It just kind of, you get that sense of it. He just got too much work there today.
And then one last thing, just on, I know there's a biggest instant analysis. There's so much going on. The 5-2 defense or the 3-4 defense. What did you see out of that today?
Well, I just think it fits their personnel. I thought it's interesting. I thought at nose you see Antoine Woods really working hard, and you see Kenny Bigelow realizing this is a whole different ball game. He said, I said, what do you think? It was one time he was looking into the backfield, standing up, kind of trying to, how he played in high school. The next thing he was on the ground. He was absolutely. That was Jordan Simmons, by the way. He said,
"Oh, okay.
Man, did he just?" I said, "What are you thinking when you're heading toward the ground like that?" He said, "I'm thinking I did something wrong." And he said, "This is a lot faster and a lot tougher." And he said, "This is good." He said, "I'm learning stuff." He said, "You got to learn from that." But and I thought, I thought both lines went after one another pretty well, considering they don't have pads on. I thought there was a lot of stuff, we haven't seen before in terms of the kind of competition. I thought they really, and now again, sustaining it is the key.
Right. All right. Well, it's a busy, action-packed day one here on Howard Jones Field. Spring football, USCfootball.com, instant analysis. For Dan Weber, this is Ryan Abraham. Check out USCfootball.com for more.